Hi, my name is Jen Vetter, and today we're going to be talking about ethics in instructional design. And I really want to talk about how they intersect, but through the lens of a biblical worldview. I think it's important at first that we talk about what instructional design is. And really, it is just the development of educational materials that have the sole purpose of helping students understand material that's being presented to them in the most effective and efficient way. And when we talk about ethics, we're really talking about guiding concepts or principles that really govern the way that we act, the things that we do to other people, for other people. And when when we discuss ethics, it's important to understand that they are in all aspects of life, in business and in school, in any kind of work that you do. So why is it important to consider ethics when we are designing instruction for students? Well, first of all, as instructional designers, we are charged with a very important task, and that is to provide accurate information in a meaningful way for students. And we really have to consider how we are shaping learning experiences for our students. And that is why ethics is important in instructional design, because there needs to be some kind of code or some parameters that we work within so we can make sure that what we are creating is going to be pleasing not only for our students, but for our God as well. And again, it's super important that students get valid and reliable information. And this could be mainly because students at the end of any kind of course have to take a standardized test. We want them to have the most accurate information so they can do well on those tests. And one of the big things about why ethics is important in instructional design is that it can really help us support equity in our classrooms. We want to make sure that what we're doing is going to support all learners, not just some, and that how it is being delivered is going to make for a fair and just environment. And again, especially as teachers, it's important to model the behaviors we want to see in our students. And so when we go all the way back to how instruction is created, this is a perfect time to set the stage for what it is we want to see in our students. And finally, it is important to include ethics or some kind of code when you're developing instruction because it really shows respect not for just yourself, but also for the students and the teacher who are going to receive the information. So let's talk a little bit about what a biblical world view is all about. And honestly, it's grounded in the teachings of the Bible. It emphasizes principles such as love, integrity, justice, and stewardship. And these values provide us with a moral compass for decision making and our behaviors. And it can impact all aspects of our life, including our professional practices. And I think this is important because we see ethics in every vein of our lives. You may not abide by the same biblical principles that I do, but when it comes to whatever business is being conducted, be it education, finance, management, there is a certain code that is adhered to. In the case of us as Christians, it is important that we are taking into account the biblical world view and what God wants from us in everything that we do. So, in instructional design, ethical principles are paramount. We must respect our learners by valuing their diverse backgrounds and perspectives. Honesty and integrity ensure that our content is truthful and reliable. Equity and fairness demand that all learners have equal access to educational opportunities. And lastly, we must practice responsibility and stewardship in the use of any resources that we utilize in developing our instruction for students. And so let's take a little bit of time to look at how these ethical principles are grounded in the Bible. So when we talk about honesty and integrity, I feel that Proverbs 12:22 really highlights the importance of honesty, while Micah 6:8 urges us to act justly. Genesis 2:15 reminds us of our duty to be good stewards of the resources we are given. And Proverbs 13:13 encourages us to remember that being lifelong learners and appreciating instruction is valuable and important. So let's look at some of the practical applications of instructional design. So we want to design content that encourages inclusivity. And this means that we want to give students a safe place to learn, fail, and grow. We want our information to be accurate and transparent. And so that means that we need to use the resources with care and discernment. We want to promote accessibility. Our design methods should support all learners and not leave anyone out. And we really need to make sure that we are good stewards of the charge that we have. And so that means we need to avoid stereotypes and biases and provide context for the information we are sharing with students. Despite our best efforts, we often face challenges and ethical dilemmas. Balancing truth with sensitivity can be difficult, especially when dealing with controversial topics. Addressing diverse worldviews requires a careful approach to ensure all learners feel respected and included. Additionally, managing limited resources in a way that upholds our ethical standards can be challenging, yet it's essential for effective and responsible instructional design. So, in conclusion, reflection on what we do as instructional designers is vitally important, not just to improve our work and what we do, but also to really improve the environment that we are developing for students to learn. God has given us a guide. The Bible lays it all out there. And we need to make sure that we are utilizing this guide in all that we do. Instructional design really is another way for us to express our faith. When we uphold the biblical principles that God has given to us and the ethical principles that we know are the right things to do, we have an opportunity to share with everyone how our faith can transcend any person, any location, anywhere. Because if we are developing instruction that is based in biblical principles, we are providing opportunities for educators and students to develop themselves in an inclusive, safe, and caring environment. And finally, integrating ethics and our principles that we hold dear into instructional design shows respect, not just for ourselves, but for the students and the teachers who are going to be utilizing the content that we are creating. Here are my references. If there are any questions, I will be happy to take them now.